Bella had never been the type to go out on a Friday night. She preferred quiet evenings, soft music, and her novels. But that night, her best friend Nikki dragged her to an upscale lounge on the island, insisting she needed to live small. The place was dimly lit, filled with warm golden lights that reflected off the glass walls. The music was soft, the kind that vibrated through your skin more than your ears. Bella felt out of place in her fitted black dress, even though she looked stunning. Nikki disappeared almost immediately, leaving Bella alone at the bar. She ordered a simple drink, intending to sip it slowly, but then she felt it. Presence behind her. Tall, warm, confident, almost like he carried the whole room with him. "Is this seat taken?" a deep voice asked. Bella turned, and for a moment, she forgot how to breathe. The man was effortlessly handsome. Strong jawline, broad shoulders, dark eyes that looked like they could read your thoughts if you held his gaze for too long. He smelled like expensive cologne and trouble. Soft, clean, irresistible. "No," she managed. He sat, and just like that, the atmosphere changed. "You don't look like you belong here," he said, studying her with a slight smile. "And what makes you think that?" she asked. "You're too real for this place." Her cheeks warmed. They talked about life, dreams, silly things, serious things. Everything flowed so naturally it scared her. He offered her another drink. She accepted. She shouldn't have. By the time they stepped outside, the night air felt electric. Bella didn't even know who leaned in first. She only knew that when he kissed her, the world tilted. Everything felt urgent, hungry, perfect. One thing led to another, and they ended up in his hotel room. It was a night she didn't plan. A night she shouldn't have had. A night she couldn't forget. He held her like he knew her. He whispered things that made her heart tremble. His touch felt both dangerous and safe. By morning he was gone. No name, no number, no goodbye. Just an empty sheet beside her. Bella walked out of that hotel room feeling foolish, confused, and strangely hollow. She never expected to see him again. She definitely didn't expect him to become her boss. And she absolutely wasn't prepared for the 2 lines that appeared on the pregnancy test 3 weeks later. Bella stared at the pregnancy test for so long that her eyes began to blur. 2 lines. Bold, clear, undeniable. Her hands trembled, and her heartbeat refused to slow down. "This can't be happening," she whispered. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't the type. This wasn't her life. But the truth was sitting right there in her palm, refusing to disappear no matter how many times she blinked. She was pregnant, and she didn't even know the man's name. A stranger, a mistake, a night she could never take back. For days, she moved around in a fog, working, eating, sleeping, but everything felt far away, like she was watching her own life from a distance. She hadn't even told Nikki yet. She wasn't ready for the judgment, the teasing, the chaos that would follow. She only told herself one thing: I'll focus on work. I need stability, plan, a way forward. And that's exactly what she tried to do. Her office building buzzed with unusual excitement. People dressed better than normal. The HR director wore his important meeting suit. Someone said the company had a new CEO, a man from their international headquarters. Bella didn't pay much attention. She was battling nausea and trying not to cry for no reason. Everyone gathered in the conference hall. Amara stood in the back, holding her tablet, pretending to look busy. Then the room went silent. Footsteps, confident, measured, familiar. The doors opened, and there he was, the man from the lounge, the man from that night, the man whose name she didn't know. He walked in wearing a navy suit that fit like it had been sewn on his body. His eyes were sharp, scanning the room with authority. His jaw was set, serious, professional. But Bella saw something else beneath it: softness, heat, the memory of his hands on her skin. Her chest tightened painfully. His name was announced. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our new Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Adrian Cole." Her breath stopped. Adrian. So that was his name. He stood there giving a strong, confident speech about restructuring, growth, and new strategies. Everyone listened, admiring him. But all Bella could hear were fragments. That voice, same as that night. Those eyes, the same ones that looked into mine. That mouth, the same one that kissed me senseless. Her palms grew sweaty. Her knees felt weak. She stepped slightly behind a colleague to hide her face. Adrian's gaze swept across the hall and stopped on her. His eyes widened just for a second, but she saw it. Recognition, shock, something hotter. She quickly looked away, heart racing out of control. Please don't come over here. Please don't talk to me. Please don't. Miss? Someone whispered behind her. She forced a smile. The longest meeting of her life finally ended. Just as people began to leave, she felt it. Someone was watching her. She turned. Adrian Cole was standing a few meters away, his eyes locked on hers. Not blinking, not smiling, just staring, intense and unreadable. Then he began to walk toward her. Slow, deliberate, purposeful. Her stomach dropped. Her boss, her one-night stand, the father of the baby he didn't know existed, coming straight to her. Bella tried to blend into the cluster of employees heading out of the conference room, but her body betrayed her. Her legs felt too light, her steps too quick, too nervous. She could feel him behind her. Not physically, but in that way you sense heat before you feel it. The crowd thinned. Her heartbeat didn't. She reached the hallway leading to the elevators, and then, "Excuse me." His voice, deep, calm, too familiar. She froze. Slowly, she turned. And there he stood, Adrian Cole, her new boss, the man whose touch still lived somewhere deep in her skin. He looked different now, sharper, controlled. But those eyes remembered her. "Can we talk for a moment?" he asked, his expression unreadable. Her throat tightened. "Sir, I'm in the middle of something right now." He raised a brow, a small amused curve forming at one corner of his mouth. "Are you sure about that?" Before she could respond, her colleague Leo walked by and nodded at Adrian. "Good afternoon, sir." Adrian nodded back politely but kept his gaze locked on Bella. "Let's use my office," he said. "I don't think." That wasn't a suggestion. Her stomach flipped. The moment the door closed behind them, Bella felt the air change. His office was large, minimalist, and cold. White walls, glass shelves, a dark wooden desk. But he was the only thing she could focus on. He loosened his tie slightly, not breaking eye contact. "So," he began quietly, "imagine my surprise." "Bella swallowed." "Sir, I had no idea you were." "My name is Adrian," he interrupted softly. Her breath hitched. "Adrian," she corrected nervously. He nodded. "And you still haven't told me yours." His eyes lowered slightly, studying her like she was a puzzle he'd been trying to solve. She hesitated. "Bella." He said her name slowly, almost tasting it. "Bella," he repeated. "I looked for you at that hotel room, you know?" Her heart nearly stopped. "You did?" "Yes." He stepped closer, too close. "You were gone." She looked down at her hands. "I thought you left." He paused. The air between them tightened. A long moment passed. "We need to talk about that night," Adrian said firmly. Bella's chest tightened. "There's nothing to talk about. It was a mistake. It won't happen again." He let out a quiet, humorless laugh. "A mistake? Is that what you call it?" She didn't answer. He stepped closer again. So close she could smell his cologne, clean and warm, the same scent from that night. "Bella," he said quietly, "why do I feel like something else is going on?" Her heart pounded against her ribs. Her breath grew shallow. Her fingers trembled slightly, and she curled them into fists to hide it. "You're shaking," he observed softly. "I'm just tired," she lied. "No," he shook his head slowly. "You're scared." Her pulse jumped. Then he said something that made her blood turn cold. "Are you afraid because of me? Or because of what happened between us?" Her lips parted, but no sound came out. She could feel her secret rising in her throat, heavy and choking. Adrian watched her closely, too closely. "Bella," he said, voice low and serious. "If something happened after that night, I need to know." Her heart dropped. He was too close to the truth, too close to her fear, too close to the life growing inside her. She opened her mouth, and suddenly there was a knock at the door. "Sir, your 2 p.m. meeting is waiting." Adrian's jaw tightened, annoyed at the interruption. "We're not done," he told her, his voice deep and certain. Bella stepped back, almost stumbling. She escaped through the door before he could stop her. But as it closed behind her, she heard him exhale sharply, frustrated, like a man who hated being left without answers. The words hung between them like a storm cloud ready to break. Adrian stepped back slightly, blinking rapidly. His normally composed, controlled expression was gone, replaced by shock, disbelief, and something else. Something raw, intense, and unsettling. "You what?" he whispered, his voice barely audible. Bella's chest heaved. "I said, I'm pregnant. It's yours." That night. Her voice trembled, tears welling up. "It happened that night." He ran a hand through his hair, pacing the office. Each step echoed loudly in the silence. His jaw tightened, his eyes darkened. Anger? Fear? Confusion? She couldn't tell. Why didn't you tell me earlier?" he demanded, spinning to face her. "Do you have any idea what this means?" I didn't know how," she cried. "I was scared. You're my boss. I didn't want to ruin everything. I didn't want to lose my job. Her words faltered as he closed the distance between them again, the storm of his gaze leaving her breathless. "You should have trusted me," he said, his voice lowering, almost a growl. "Bella, you trusted me that night, didn't you?" Her heart skipped. Yes, but that night," he interrupted, his hand brushing hers on her arm, sending a jolt of heat through her body, "was real. What happened wasn't a mistake for me. It wasn't just a fling." Bella's stomach flipped. His words were intoxicating and terrifying. "I don't know if I can," she began, but he silenced her with a soft, urgent finger on her lips. "You don't have to say anything right now," he murmured, his voice low and intimate. "But I will protect you. I will be with you, no matter what anyone says, no matter what happens at work. Do you understand me?" Tears streamed down her face. Relief, fear, and desire tangled in her chest. She nodded, barely able to speak. "You'll be okay," he whispered, pulling her close. "I've got you." The intensity of the moment was electric. The space between them seemed to shrink, her body responding to his presence despite the fear and tension. His lips hovered near hers, the heat of his gaze igniting a fire in her veins. "I can't. I shouldn't," she murmured. "Shoo," he said, his lips brushing her ear. "I know, but neither can I." For a long moment, they just stood there, hearts racing, breathing mingling, the unspoken truth vibrating between them. The world outside ceased to exist. There was only this, only them, only what had begun that night and had now become unavoidable. Adrian pulled back just slightly, his forehead resting against hers. "We'll figure this out," he whispered. "Together. But first, I need you to trust me completely." Bella nodded, feeling a mix of vulnerability and relief wash over her. She wanted to scream, to cry, to laugh. But mostly, she wanted him to stay, to hold her through the storm of fear and uncertainty. And for the first time since that night, she believed it might actually be possible. The next few days at the office were unbearable. Adrian maintained his calm, authoritative CEO persona with everyone else, but every interaction with Bella was electric, an invisible thread of tension connecting them. Every glance, every accidental brush of their hands, every moment their eyes met sent shivers down her spine. She tried to focus on her work, but even typing a simple report felt impossible when he could appear in her peripheral vision at any moment. The office grapevine was merciless. People whispered when Adrian entered a room, glancing at Amara suspiciously. Have you noticed how he looks at her? Someone whispered behind her desk. Do you think? Bella didn't want to know. She wanted to shrink into herself, hide, disappear. But she couldn't. Adrian, meanwhile, seemed to notice everything. Every glance, every whisper, every subtle comment. His presence alone silenced the office when he entered, leaving her heart pounding and stomach twisting into knots. One late evening, Bella stayed back to finish a report. The office was quiet, the lights dimmed, and the hum of the air conditioner was the only sound. She heard footsteps before she saw him. Adrian appeared silently, leaning against the doorway. His expression softened when he saw her exhausted state. You shouldn't be here this late, he said, walking closer. I needed to finish this, she replied, trying to sound professional. He knelt slightly to look at her screen. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, he murmured. His hand brushed hers lightly over the keyboard. Sparks shot through her body, heat blooming everywhere. Bella swallowed hard. I can't let anything happen. I mean, at work, she stammered. You think I don't know that? He whispered, leaning closer. I know everything. I'll protect you. But this, he gestured between them, is happening whether we want it or not. Her heart thudded in her chest. We can't. We can, he interrupted, voice low, intimate, commanding. We just need to be smart. Before she could respond, he leaned down and pressed a soft, teasing kiss to her temple. You're mine now, Bella, whether the world accepts it or not. The next week, a rumor reached Bella. One of Adrian's ex-fiancées, a woman named Celine, had returned to the city. She was gorgeous, confident, and notoriously manipulative. Rumor had it she wanted Adrian back, and she wouldn't stop at anything. Bella's stomach sank. She didn't even know what to do. She had barely processed being pregnant, let alone facing a woman like Celine. When she told Adrian, he didn't flinch. Not at all. His eyes darkened with protective intensity. Let her try, he said quietly. She doesn't know what she's up against. You and this baby. That's mine. His words made her heart melt and thrum with fear at the same time. Later that night, Adrian called her. Not a work call, personal one. Bella, he said, voice low. Come to my office. Now. She hesitated but obeyed. When she arrived, he closed the door and pulled her gently into his arms. I can't stop thinking about you, he admitted, his lips grazing her ear. Every time I see you, every time I hear your laugh, it drives me insane. She trembled. Adrian, we can't. This is risky. We're past risk, he whispered, nipping lightly at her neck. This is reality, and I won't pretend I don't feel this. I won't hide it. Not from you. Not from anyone. The heat between them flared, their hands exploring, their breaths mingling. In that moment, the office, the world, and the future ceased to exist. There was only desire, love, and the undeniable connection that had started that fateful night. Bella finally let herself melt into his embrace. The following Monday, the office buzzed with tension. Adrian strode in, his usual calm, commanding presence radiating authority. But today, there was an edge in his gaze, a quiet storm brewing beneath the surface. Bella felt it the moment she entered. She had barely settled at her desk when she noticed a woman standing near the elevator, dressed impeccably, exuding confidence and power. Celine, Adrian's ex-fiancée, gorgeous, poised, and sharp-eyed. She scanned the room, then fixed her gaze on Amara. A chill ran down Bella's spine. Celine approached their department with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Adrian, she purred as she reached his office. I see you've been busy. I've been handling things, Adrian replied, calm but cold, his voice firm. Celine's gaze shifted. It landed on Bella. A subtle smirk formed. And who's this?
Bella Froze.
I'm Bella, she said softly. Adrian's eyes narrowed. She's someone very important, he said quietly, his protective tone unmistakable. Celine tilted her head, studying Bella as if trying to decipher her place in this world. I see, she said lightly, almost teasingly. I hope she knows how close she is to someone she can't possibly compete with. Bella felt her face heat. Her heartbeat quickened. Adrian stepped forward, placing a hand lightly on her shoulder. This isn't a competition, he said. She's my partner. That's all you need to know. Celine's smirk faltered slightly. We'll see about that. The words lingered in the air like a challenge, a threat, a promise of conflict. From that moment on, the office atmosphere changed. Celine made small, cutting remarks. She questioned Bella's work. She lingered near Adrian, making sure he noticed. Every time Bella felt safe, Celine's presence reminded her that their love wasn't going to be simple. Adrian, however, never faltered. He stayed close to Bella, guiding her through meetings, whispering encouragement, and subtly shutting Celine down. But the tension was growing. Bella couldn't help but wonder, can their love survive the storm Celine is bringing? Later that evening, the office was empty. Bella stayed late again, finishing a report. She felt exhausted and emotionally drained. Suddenly, Adrian appeared behind her, leaning casually against her desk. You're pushing yourself too hard, he murmured, his hand brushing hers. I have to finish this, she whispered, her fingers trembling. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. You don't have to face anything alone. Not me, not Celine, not the office, not life. Her heart skipped. But what if she keeps causing trouble? Then we deal with it together, he said softly. His lips hovered near hers. I won't let her hurt you, or our baby. Bella felt a shiver run through her body. She leaned into him, needing comfort, needing reassurance. His arms wrapped around her, holding her close. For a moment, the world outside ceased to exist. There was no office, no rumors, no challenges. There was only Adrian. Only love. Only the undeniable connection that had started months ago in a night that changed everything. The following week was a test of patience and willpower. Celine wasn't subtle anymore. She questioned Bella's work in meetings, lingered by Adrian's desk with flirtatious smiles, and whispered rumors in the corridors. It was clear she was deliberately trying to provoke jealousy, doubt, and fear. Bella felt cornered, exhausted, and anxious. Every day at work became a battlefield, with Celine as the storm and Adrian as both her shield and her desire. One afternoon, Celine cornered Bella in the hallway. You think you can just walk in and take him? Celine hissed, her perfect nails tapping Bella's arm lightly. Bella's eyes widened. I'm not trying to take anyone. I'm not. Don't lie, Celine snapped, leaning in. You're pregnant with his child. Do you really think that's enough to make him stay? Before Bella could respond, Adrian's voice boomed from behind them. That's enough, Celine. He stepped between them, his presence commanding, dangerous. His eyes were dark, filled with a protective fury that sent a chill through Bella's spine. You will not speak to her like that again, he said calmly, but the menace in his voice left no room for argument. Celine smirked, tilting her head. We'll see, Adrian. We'll see how long she lasts. Bella's hand instinctively found Adrian's. He squeezed it gently, grounding her, letting her know she wasn't alone. Later that night, after the office was empty, Bella stayed late again, finishing reports she could have left for tomorrow. But her thoughts were clouded, thoughts of Celine, of Adrian, of the baby, and the impossible intensity of their connection. Adrian appeared silently behind her desk. You're working too hard, he murmured, leaning close. I just need to finish this, she replied, her voice weak. You need rest, he whispered, brushing a strand of hair from her face. And maybe some comfort. Her breath caught. She turned to face him, her heart pounding. Adrian. He didn't say a word. He leaned in, and this time their lips met. It wasn't tentative. It was fierce, passionate, and desperate. Every emotion they'd repressed, the desire, the fear, the love, exploded in that kiss. She felt his hands tracing her curves gently, carefully, reverently, as though the world outside didn't exist. I can't. I shouldn't, she whispered between kisses. Shoo! he murmured, holding her close. I know, but neither can I. The office lights glimmered around them, but all Bella could see was him. All she could feel was the heat, the connection, the undeniable reality that their lives were now intertwined forever. After a long, slow moment, they broke apart, breathing heavily, foreheads touching. You're mine, Adrian whispered, his voice low and intimate. And I'll protect you, our baby. Nothing will come between us. Not Celine. Not anyone. Bella trembled, tears sliding down her cheeks. Relief, desire, love, and fear tangled inside her. I trust you, she whispered, leaning into him. I'm scared, but I trust you. He held her tighter, pressing a soft kiss to the top of her head. Then we face this together. Always. And in that moment, despite the chaos around them, despite Celine's schemes, despite the uncertainty of the future, Bella finally felt something she hadn't felt in months: hope, safety, and love. Thank you for watching episode 1. Your time and support helped this channel grow. I look forward to bringing you the next episode.